Pretty.
Right. Right, so we're into the stage now where we need to pot on some of our tomatoes. A good sign that they're ready for potting on is that you start to get a sign of roots protruding from the bottom of the pot. And if you're going to pot a tomato on into a larger pot, always move up sort of 2 sizes. Don't just go up 1 size. It just gives them more room to grow and you're not disturbing them so often. So what we're going to do is pop a little bit of compost in the bottom of this pot, peat free, good quality, and then this is a variety called Wellington. It's quite a large fruited variety. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the seedling leaves. So I'm just going to pull them to one side and they'll come off without any problem. They shouldn't tear the plant or anything. So, and if there's any side shoots, I'd take those out as well, but these are only just developing and they're a bit small, so I'm not going to attempt to take those out. So these are ones that we've been potted on a bit in a more of an advanced stage. So all you need to do is just finger and thumb and just pull it to one side and it'll come clean out in your hand. It won't damage the plant at all. So remove all those because that's taking energy from the plant growing upwards. Yeah. So I've popped a little bit of compost in the bottom of the pot that we're moving up to. And what I want to do is bury this plant about up to where I've taken off the seedling leaves. So that's a little bit deep. So take a little bit of compost out and that's perfect now. So I want that little mark there where I've taken those seedling leaves off to be just below the level of the top of the pot. So I'm going to leave that pot in. I'm just going to rotate with one hand and sprinkle compost around the side of the pots and between each pot, and what that'll do is that'll give me a perfect planting hole for the new plant that I'm putting in here. So I've just filled it like that. I'm just going to tap it down and firm it. What that does is it'll settle the compost around the pot. As you can see, that's a perfect fit now. Just gently take out the pot and you can see, if I can do this without disturbing it, you've got a perfect planting hole there. And then now, fingers either side of the plant, just turn the pot up and just squeeze it gently, and there you go. So you can see that's ready for potting on now because the roots are starting to come out the bottom of the pot. So I'm just going to gently turn that over and drop it straight into the pot. And then, as I said, I want to bury it slightly deeper because tomatoes will root from the stem. Yeah. And it'll make it a sturdier plant, and obviously the more roots it has, the more nutrients it can take up. So I'm just going to put the label back in. Yeah, they're not a bad plant. They look fairly healthy. I'd say we've not had that great a spring really. Yeah. We're going to treat this plant with Maximato Xtra. It's going to feed the plant, but it's also going to introduce bacteria into the soil around the roots, and it'll encourage it to not only to root, but obviously to develop a strong root system. And feed the plant. So the better the root system, the more nutrients the plant can take up, more nutrients and water. So just a scoop around the base of the plant and then we'll water that in. So you don't want to drown the plant because you don't want to wash all the goodness away that you've put in. So it's just a matter of watering it until your Maximato disappears down into the soil. Tomatoes don't like to get the leaves too wet, so I'm going to be careful and try and just water the soil and not the tomato itself, and that's true right the way through the growing life of a tomato. Try and keep the leaves dry and the roots moist. I'm just going to move the plant to one side and just water that in and just let that sink in. And then obviously we're going to keep this in a greenhouse. It's a greenhouse grown tomato, and just protect it from any frost that we might get, but we're more or less past that stage hopefully now. We're getting there, and that should be fine to grow on.